Welcome back. The Northwest Education Department has come under criticism for a contract that will see it paying nearly R500 million to print matric exam papers over the next 5 years. Insiders told City Press that the 5-year contract with a joint venture called Libone Altron DSV Consortium will cost around R128 million annually. The department has, however, disputed this figure, stating that the amount is just over R100 million per year. For more on this, we are now joined by the department's acting DDG for exams and curriculum, David Moroeng. David, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. So what's the department's explanation around the increase in cost for printing?
Good morning, Eltrin, and good morning to your viewers. In terms of our Northwest Department of Education, the contract that we've entered into is not only about contract of printing, but it's a contract of what we call end-to-end, where we prepare question papers, we print. After being printed, it's going to be picked up, what we call picking up, and then packaged. And once it's packaged, then it's going to be stored. After storage, then it will be taken to the different what we call storage points in the province under secured system, under secured environment. So the previous service provider that was two to 3 years ago, it was with GPW, and we left GPW because we had a one year what we call SLA that we had with them. So we moved away and we started looking for a new service provider. And for the past 2 years, we've been hosted by Gauteng Department of Education, and we moved now, starting with our own tender process. And we advertised, and after advertising, we got Lebonelito Consortium and also Altron and DSV taking the bid.
Okay. So with the GPW contract, how much were you paying there a year?
For GPW, because we're printing only fewer papers in terms of your grade 12, in that regard, 27 to 29 million. And when we left GPW 2 years ago, we started paying around 80 to 90 million in terms of printing. And this year, when we started a new contract, we've added some new features that were not there. That is secure printing, that's 1, 2, secured transportation of the question papers within the province. And also, we've added additionally, we've added the taking of answer books to the different marking venues and also the return. Once the scripts are returned from the different marking venues, they will be scanned in order to ensure that we don't lose any of the candidates' script, and they will be saved in a cloud for a period more than a year. In the past, what we've been doing is that we've been doing the manual storage in terms of the answer scripts, but now we'll be archiving them and making sure that they are also stored electronically.
Yeah. And previously, those additional costs, like for instance, the transportation and so forth, how much did that cost the department before? If we look into the 2 years prior, and we're just trying to make sure that we are able to make sense of it's reportedly 128 million, but the department, according to the paper, is saying that it's not 128 million, but it's just above 100 million.
Yes, for year one, as it is, it's only 100 million. That was the one that has been corrected. The initial cost, as it's been written by whoever wrote the article, it's indicating that it's 128. That is not the truth. The truth is that it's only 100 million that we are going to spend for this year for all these 5 items and secured transportation of answer scripts.
Okay, let me just quickly get this out of the way. So it's going to be 100 million for the first year, but this contract is for 5 years, I understand.
It is for 5
For 5 years. So in total, how much will you be paying for the 5 years?
In total, it will be 500 million. And the issue that we need to emphasize, Aldrin, is that we are not only printing grade 12 question, we are also printing other examination. That is your one, we are printing the SC and the NSC, which is written in June. We are printing also the prep exam that is written in September, which is about several papers, about 64 to 80 question papers. We are also printing the GEC, which was introduced 2 years ago. The GEC is for the grade 9. And in terms of our numbers, the grade 9 is about around 58 million candidates that we are printing. Then we are also printing the end of the year examination. So there are several prints that we are doing during the year. And we are also ensuring that at the end, when memo discussions and all these things are taken care of, we are also printing all those different materials that are needed during the whole year with regard to examinations.
Yeah. And the previous 2 years, you were saying that you were using a Gauteng, which still comes at a lower cost than the 100 million. Sure.
Yes, it was lower. Like I said, it's lower in a sense that it was around plus minus, it's around 95 cents a copy that we were dealing when we were in Gauteng. So when we left in that case, we've looked at some of the editions. And if you look at the edition from where we come from Gauteng, for us to be able to say it's 126 per copy, in that regard, it's about an additional of about 36 cents on top of what we were printing before.
So 126 cents per printing one page?
Per page, yes.
Isn't that expensive?
It was going to be expensive.
If you think of it, and let me put it this way, David. So ordinarily with the public printing services that you get, sometimes you pay about 50 cents, R1 per page. Wouldn't this come at a much higher cost, even though that you are procuring the services for bulk printing? So surely it must come at least than that R1.26. What are we missing?
Yes. Yeah. Remember, as I've indicated, it's not just only printing that we normally do of a page. We need to prepare first the question paper, put in also what we call the security features on the paper. The second part is to ensure that at the printing side, it's fully secured. And at the printing side, there's no disruption in terms of your printing, in terms of the machine, power outages, and all those things that are needed to be taken care of. Thirdly, we need to ensure that we pre-pack every question papers that it should not be seen. The fourth part is that we have to pack it in terms of the different schools in the province. And we need to start packing it in the trucks, loading it according to where the different schools are found. And finally, we need to ensure that it's safe when it's transported also on the way to a particular destination within the province. The second issue that I indicated with regard to what we've added is that in the past, we are using government vehicles to collect and to ensure that we send question papers, the answer scripts to the different marking venues. For now, we are using DSV to be able to assist us in taking those particular answer scripts of learners to the different marking venues under secured transportation.
Okay, so you're no longer using... Lastly?
Yeah, and on the day when marking ends, the same answer scripts will be transported back. And in the past, we are transporting them daily using government vehicles, which were sometimes not secured due to the rains and also the roads in the province. So in that case, we know that our answer scripts of learners are secured. We don't have any of the learner scripts that are lost on the way during transit, and they will be scanned to ensure that we save them electronically.
Okay.
So all these processes, to us, it's worth that particular amount.
Okay. So you're no longer using government transportation because it is not secure, but you're also not using government's printing works, which does have the equipment to actually print the papers that you need. Isn't this a waste of money, do you think? If the government printing works can print the papers that you need, then surely they should be the ones who have that contract. Just make us understand why you're not only not using government transportation anymore, but you're also not using the government printing works.
Yeah, using government printing works, we used it. I think there was, I think in 2020, the colleagues, we are quite aware there was a high leakage in terms of the papers that were printed. The second thing is that government printing works is not only servicing one particular province, it's also servicing other provinces. And also the work that it does all printing for the colleges. And in that case, it's a lot. And security at one time when also a national department visited, the security was not of good standard. And that's the time when we were also requested to start finding our own, what we call it, printing site.
All right. David, just quickly in conclusion, what would you say then to our viewers this morning about government, as a government department, the education department in the Northwest? Government does not trust government facilities and government services because of issues relating to security. It seems to me that there's a deeper crisis here that we are unsurfacing.
Yeah, remember, government printing works. It's in Pretoria, as compared to what we wanted. What we wanted is a service provider who's within the province, somebody who we can be able to work with. And also, we wanted also services that...
But my point, David, my point is more specifically around the issue around security, because you've raised the issue with security, with government printing works, the issue of security once again, with the transportation of the exam papers, the question papers as well as the answer. So what does this tell us about government not trusting its own facilities and its own services when it comes to security?
Yeah, I think it's important to note that the security in that regard, with regard to printing of our papers, it must become an uppermost important issue. And that is why we left where we found that security was breached at all angles. So we had to move. In terms of printing also of our matric, it's important that we don't print overnight and all those things. But with regard when we are there, because of 2-3 companies that are also printing, we had to sacrifice at other times to print our question papers at night, which is also a risk that we had. In terms of the standard operating manual and procedure for printing, we are not supposed to do any printing after hours. So we need to print during the day and ensure that there's security enough to to deal with our printing.
All right. Thank you so much. David Moroeng is the Northwest Education Acting DDG.